is racing here now. Never wanna wait out. I want you right up to the end.
If you got it, flaunt it, boy, I know you want it. Watch me turn around you, watch you check up. I don't think those are the words. And also, it's a little hot in here, and I feel like my leave out is gonna puff up. So let me go put a scarf on. The hashtag women in their 40s challenge is trending on TikTok, and today we are going to be reacting to the most popular ones thus far. So the hashtag women in their 30s challenge was popping off on TikTok, and somebody made the suggestion that women in their 40s step to the front because the women in their 30s are still babies.
All right, so now that we've been seeing all the women in their 30 videos and they're glowing up and the girls are realizing that we're here, now I want to see the women in their 40 videos. I want to see what the women in their 40s is doing. I want to see what y'all look like. I know y'all giving 30. I know y'all giving 20, and I want to see those videos. Let's post those videos. Let's see what the grown women in their 40s looking like. I need to see what I have to look forward to.
Now, clearly women in their 30s are not babies. It's all kind of like relative, because sometimes at 43, I look at somebody who's 30 and I'm like, oh my God, you're so young still. However, I love seeing that trend because I love seeing young women realizing how freeing being in your 30s is, because getting older is sometimes often something that people are scared of. But baby, it gets even better in your 40s. So as a fellow hashtag woman in her 40s, I am ecstatic to see this trend. Okay, these women look fan-freaking-tastic, right? Hair, body, face, everything is, you know, as the kids would call it, tea. But it's not just that, it's the confidence and the assertiveness that is top tier. All right, now I might have to have my editors find some music that has that same kind of vibe so I can avoid copyright strike here, because the song that they're using is a live version of Beyonce's Check on It. And I know me and B are 1981 Virgos. One of us would suffer severely if the other one sued her, so
Heart is racing here now. Never wanna wait out. I want you right up to the end. Oh, you know.
just fine and more fine. Okay, let's look at some more.
Heart is racing here now. Never wanna wait out. I want you right up to the end. Oh, you know what I'm feeling, even if it doesn't make sense. You don't have to guess now. You're a mind reader. A mind reader.
Now, what I love about these ladies, the confidence just is so natural. Nothing seems forced. Nobody is trying to hang with the 20-year-olds. You know, let them young girls have their things. We are in our own lane. We're, you know, like, there's no need to chase youth. You just exude the confidence and sexiness. Well, they do. I don't know how sexy this rap is looking until I look at this footage. Now, she had me in the first half, I ain't gonna lie, girl. Now, again, I think what resonates so much with me with these videos is that none of these are talking videos, they just strutting their stuff. But I feel like each and every one of these ladies just has that je ne sais quoi.
At 43, I am no longer chasing youth. I am chasing good skin, good teeth. I am chasing a healthy body, working out, a healthy diet. I'm chasing overall wellness and well-being rather than the aesthetic of youth. I've been leaning into the way that I dress. I want to dress more sophisticated, more elegant, more regal. I want to give off a certain air. And of course, my silver gray wig adds into that aesthetic. And let me tell you, it does something to people. The way people respond to me when I go out in public with this wig, it is crazy. It is something a regular dark black wig would never get me, no matter what I wore. So I'm just really investing in like the way I style myself, the jewelry that I choose, the way I do my makeup, and I am loving it here. Now, I can't give you guys rich auntie because technically I'm a mom. I'm a married mother to a 4-year-old, so I gotta give y'all sophisticated rich mommy. Okay, that's why I call this. I call it the rich mommy because I can't be the rich auntie like my beautiful child-free ladies out here, But listen, let me tell you, I've said this before, I don't know who needs to hear it, but let your hair go gray. And if you're like me and you have alopecia and your hair is not enough or sufficient to go gray, go ahead and buy this wig from Sensational. Wear it out just one day, and tell me how you do, because I'm telling you, this is the milkshake that's going to bring the grown men to the yard.
Just fine. Like, all these people just fine as hell. Now, I feel her. However, for me personally, when it comes to dressing, the older I get, it seems like the less that I'm wearing. But I think because it took me I spent way too much time not liking the way that I looked, from my body to like hair, face, all that other stuff. And that now that I'm like, I'll be looking in the mirror, I'll be like, hey girl, you're cute. And it's just something. Let me stop acting silly. It is just something about this time where you just don't give a Like, this is why they say youth is wasted on the young, because like, you got your good working knees, you got that powerful lower back, your eyesight. Well, for me, I had good eyesight when I was younger. It started to dwindle down a little bit. You have all of those things working for you. However, there's a lot of like confidence issues. You're more likely to not want to speak up for yourself or get duped by some ain't shit. But also, to her point, you have the confidence in doing you. Like, she wants to be more sophisticated and she don't give a damn what anyone else has to say. Me, I like to have a little plunging neckline every now and again, and I don't give a damn what people think about that either. Now, one thing that she said when she mentioned the alopecia did make me think of some of the physical things. Although a lot of us over 40, we look good, but there are some physical struggles that happen as we age. Now, obviously, you can develop any form of alopecia way before 40, right? But, just follow along here. But as we age, our bodies and our minds are fighting the biggest fight against each other, and we're gonna lose every time. If we don't act right. So she said she's experiencing alopecia. A lot of us are experiencing things that we didn't experience in the decades prior because our hormones are going to. As we age, the estrogen and progesterone levels just slowly begin to decline, and we start experiencing some things. Now, every woman is different, but some of the common things that we experience as we age: slower metabolism, bone density changes. Man, I feel that every night before I lay me down to sleep and every morning when I arise, okay? Brain fog, aches and pains, changes in hair texture, hair loss, facial hair growth. And don't get me started on the perimenopause and menopause symptoms, of which some of the things that I mentioned before can also show up as symptoms of peri and menopause. Now, the changes suck. There's, not really a great way to sugarcoat it. However, there are some things that we can do to make the transition a little easier.
If you're a woman over 40 in the gym, I want you to take this as a sign to start taking care of yourself. My name is Coach Will. I'm a 22-year fitness veteran. I specialize in helping women over 40 dealing with PCOS, perimenopause, and menopause as well. If I could give you one piece of advice, it's understanding that this journey is going to be extremely hard. And I'm shaking my head because I need you to agree with me. Let me explain. You're in a different point in your life right now. You're not 20 anymore. You're not 25 anymore. You're not even 30 anymore. Your body is responding differently. Your body is acting differently. Your hormone levels are raging differently. Your sleep patterns are different. Your mood is different. Everything is different about this body that you're in. Understand that it's going to take time to make these adjustments to this new body. You know the old you. You know the old body. You remember that old body that just used to bounce back? When you would go out, you would party, you would hang out with your friends, you might drink, you might do all the things, you come back, you sleep for 3 hours, then you wake back up, and then you get right back to it again. That's gone. It's done. That old version of you is done. Let her die. It's okay. You have to be reborn. And this new body that you're in, it's making adjustments, and that's very hard for you to really grasp. It's hard for you to understand, and I get it. Trust me, I don't need to be a woman to understand and empathize. But it's not the end of the world. And it can change, and it will change, as long as you admit the fact that your body is changing.
Now, this is exactly why I started getting super consistent in the gym just a year shy of me turning 40. Now, throughout my lifetime, I've had spats where, I would go to the gym, love to work out or, do workouts at home. But since 2019 to now, I have gone to the gym several times a week with my trainer. And the only times I have ever canceled was one, I was in the hospital, and like vacation, but that's like planned ahead of time. Or like one time I had an emergency and mixed something up with my schedule or whatever. But I be there even when I don't want to be there. Like, honestly, half the time I'm on autopilot because I will be so sleepy getting out of bed and be like, oh my God, I would love nothing more than to stay in this bed. But somehow my body arises, gets dressed, gets in the shower, puts on my gym clothes, and makes my way out. I put sunscreen on, brush my teeth, lip balm, all that other stuff in between, But ladies, we have got to get into some sort of routine exercise. Now, me personally, I do not have any more brain cells to commit to figuring out what exercises I need to be doing. And then when I'm doing those exercises as I progress to know, okay, now's the time to increase the weight or increase the reps. And like, that's gone. Okay, that's going for me. So me personally, I hire a personal trainer who herself is also specialized in working with women over 40, working through perimenopause, menopause, and she got me doing the weight training and all that stuff that I probably would not have figured out to do on my own. Now, with all things, you're either going to pay with it with your money or your time. Me, I don't quite have the time, so I spend my money. If you don't want to spend the money, then you got to spend the time. But luckily, we're in the age of the internet. There's so many resources that you can look up, or you can find exercises that you can do, but check in with your people, your doctors and whatnot, because the last thing you want to do is, tear something, because we're very delicate at this age. And find a way to make it fun. For me, I feel like going to the gym is my time to not only work out, but to also work on my jokes, like, is this material funny? Also, it be men at the gym, and although I'm not interested in them romantically, it's fun to, be around the opposite sex, have banter, small talk, all that other stuff, crack jokes, yada yada. But challenge yourself to make working out so routine that it's like getting up and brushing your teeth. Because that's what it's like for me sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, how did I even... When did I put this gym attire on and when did I get in the car? That's how on autopilot I am with the going to the gym. And it doesn't need to be some long drawn out 2-hour workout. Exercise is cumulative. So if you don't have time to do those 2 to 3 hour blocks, get in 15 minutes in the morning, then 15 minutes at lunch, then 15 minutes, after work, and then maybe not 15 minutes before bed because that might kind of throw off your circadian rhythm or whatever. But you know what I'm saying. And weight training. Listen, I complain each and every step of the way. However, once I'm done, I feel so energized and 1,000 times better having done the workout than if I didn't do it. And there are a lot of health benefits to weight training, which maybe we'll do a video on down the line, because I feel like people like cardio. And yes, cardio is important. However, at our age, you gotta add that weight training in. So let me know if I should, get started on, finding some information to put together for a weight training video. Let me know in the comments. Now, despite some of the physical limitations with being 40, sometimes I wake up and my back hurt a little bit, whatever, but I work to combat through that, to work through that. You couldn't pay me to be 20 again. I love this age. If I could bottle it up and sell it for $29.99, do I have any takers? I would, because I feel like everyone should feel this. Now, one thing though, whether you're 20, you're 30, you're 40, 50 and beyond, is that as women, is thrown our way.
Take what I can get. Take what I can get at 46. I'm 46. I look like this. I just woke up. I don't have a stitch of makeup on my face. Nothing. And I look like this.
Absolutely. That's insane, actually. So let me see what she was replying to.
Call me crazy, but calling a woman 4 times in a span of 3 hours is crazy work when she just gave you her phone number yesterday. Am I crazy?
So she goes on to say she met the guy, they exchanged numbers, they had a FaceTime call, he wanted to meet up for drinks, she agreed, she shows up for the drinks, he doesn't show up. So she's like, what the hell, right? So then the next morning at like 6 something a.m., no, morning a.m., he calls her, but she was sleeping. She didn't hear the phone ring. She goes to the gym, 9 o'clock. She gets 2 missed calls from him. Then she gets a text from him saying, let me make it up to you. And by then, clearly, she was like, boy, bye. Now, let me say something. Another thing that I love about this age is, baby, with age and with experience comes a better way of exercising your discernment. I feel like we are all born with like that gut feeling. However, I feel like sometimes when we're younger, it's easier for people to condition us out of those gut feelings, kind of like gaslight us and, make us feel bad or what have you, right? But at this age, you get that gut feeling, you stick to it, right? So, case in point, the other night I went to go put gas in my car. Now, I almost never fill up my tank when it's dark outside because stranger danger, okay? However, my gas tank was down. I was like, damn, I don't want to, run into a situation where I go to start the car and then the car doesn't run. Plus, 2 of my tires needed some air. So I'm like, all right, let me drive by the gas station, whatever. Gas station is filled with people, well lit. There's gotta be at least 10 to 15 cars in the gas station. Cool. Pump my gas. It's cold in the mug outside, so I'm like, ooh, shivering. This guy across is like laughing, and he was like, I pumped your gas for you. And I was like, man, you too late. Like I already pumped it, but you have a good night, right? Now, mind you, I am a very sociable person, right? However, I still, not with everybody, because she's still a native New Yorker. She's very friendly, but she's a New Yorker, you know what I mean? So I drive off to the station where the air is, right? So I had to go inside and get quarters, because this thing taking quarters, whatever. I ain't got a whole bunch of quarters in my car. Go in, get changed. I was about to walk outside. This mother is parked next to my car, waiting for me. And I'm like, oh my God. But I'm such a smooth criminal that I moonwalk back real quick. I don't even think he saw me go back inside. So I stayed inside and I'm kind of looking through the merchandise just because I could see his car. Later when I got outside, I realized that he could have seen me, but whatever. So, but I'm looking and I'm like, yo, is he seriously still there? I even contemplated asking one of the guys that came into the gas station to walk out with me so this guy would leave, right? Because awkward. So then he finally leaves. I'm like, okay, I made it. Go in, get the air in the tires, whip around. I see a sticky note on my car talking about call me with his number. Now, he might not have been the killer, right? But something ain't seem right. I just knew it was some. So now the thing is, I have been single for a while. Right now, I'm actually open to dating because, I like to take hiatuses in between when I'm dating people and whatnot. And I am open to dating. Now, younger me might have entertained that on some, well, you never know. He might be a nice guy, this and that and the third. But 43-year-old me said, nah, keep it pushing. You guys to trust that gut instinct. And speaking of instincts, my instinct tells me that you guys are into these TikTok reaction videos. So coming up right here, we're reacting to some of the most intense anti-aging skincare routines on TikTok. This is one, I ain't trying to give too much away because it gets crazier the more I go on in the video. But this is one lady who's doing PRP at home. And if you don't know what that is, PRP is basically drawing your own blood, putting it into a centrifuge to get the platelet-rich plasma, and then injecting it into your skin. Yeah, let's watch that. Click on this here, and I'll see you there.